Hello. Okay, so you remember yesterday I was talking about how people can be kind of shitty when it comes to the homeless. Um, People seem to have these notions in their head of what homelessness is, what it looks like, and it does not look like me. It does not look like a clean faced woman with pink hair playing video games on YouTube. And that makes a lot of people angry because when they hear the word homeless and then they look at the person and they say, well, she has a phone and she's not covered in shit. There's not needles sticking out of her arms. So she must not really be homeless. She's fine. And it is, part of this channel, aside from just me having a place where I can share my story and talk to people and just, be me, is to kind of destigmatize homelessness and kind of make people more comfortable with the idea that homelessness does not always look like a drug addict sleeping in a ditch, which is what you want it to look like. If my hair was long and scraggly and not taken care of, if I had marks all over my face because I clearly smoked meth, you would be more open to accepting that I am homeless. But because I don't look like that, I get judgment and doubt and hate. And the hate is kind of what I want to talk about today. Because, I understand questions and I usually will answer them. Just, sometimes I might not be polite about it because I do get frustrated getting the same questions all the time. But I'll most likely answer and tell people and try to illuminate their minds about what homelessness in 2020 is. Some people come into my life, they join my YouTube or my Facebook, pretending to be my friend. They'll even help me. The person that I'm about to talk about has sent me money in the past. I thought that we were friends. They were on my Facebook for a couple of months. And then one day, just after the George Floyd situation, we got into an argument that was, it was bad. It was extremely racist. And I was like, well, I don't want you in my life anymore. And she brought up then the fact that she had helped me. And if I deleted her, she wouldn't be able to help me anymore. And I was like, fine. I don't need somebody helping me who is derogatory towards other people just because of the way they look. Like, that's white supremacist type of behavior. And like, you're willing to help a white homeless person, but you're going to talk shit about black people and then tell that white person that, well, you won't help them anymore if they have a problem with you talking this racist garbage. So I deleted her. I said, fine, fuck off. You give me $5 a month sometimes. I will figure it out. And she sent me a message saying, well, this is why you're going to be a failure your whole life. This is why you're never going to make it and shit. And I was like, yeah, if mass genocide of an entire race is what it's going to take for me to not be homeless anymore, I'll be homeless. Hi, homeless, fine with it. Don't go killing black people just because I'm, that's... Anyways. Since then, I see her pop up sometimes. On my Facebook. If I go through and look at my page, I can see reactions that I wasn't notified about because these people are not on my Facebook. And I'll get a lot of laugh reactions from her on posts that are not necessarily funny. or posts where I'm asking for help, or, talking about something bad that had happened, she'll pop up and laugh just to let me know that she thinks it's amusing that I'm struggling. So, yesterday, the video I made, It's Over, I made back in March, when the pandemic first started and I was denied a shower at my doctor's office. And they've shared it on In the Now a couple of times. So they shared it yesterday, and I saw her pop up this morning on multiple comments telling people not to help me. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to have somebody that hates me so much that they're going to go out of their way to tell other people, to spread lies about me, for one, and to tell other people that I don't really need help. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was one of the people that she was talking to, who seems to have his own very strong opinions on mental illness. CPTSD is not something that you just kind of get over. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. But I'm going to go through and actually read you his entire comment because it's really gross. And I cannot put what he said into my own words because it's really gross. So let's go here. Now that I'm done ranting, it's okay. Look, it's my big face. Sorry, cracked lips and shit. See, so here I posted a couple times. I put up my PayPal and let people know that I am in a shelter and shit. It might take me a little bit to get to the one I'm looking for. I'm sorry. There's a lot of comments. But his is really long. The assholes often post really long comments. I think they think it makes them look more right if they use more words. I had it loaded up, but it went away. I waited too long. Okay. Martin Binkovic. Keyword throughout this entire sob fest. Depends. She depends on the state. From the moment you are born, you depend on someone. Usually, this dependence ends across the world at either age 18 or 21. This doesn't mean you are out on the street having to fend for yourself for a fucking roof to live under, but to be employed. Absolutely. Tertiary education or some sort of qualification, also a yes. She looks way past 18 or 21 and is still a dependent at the most basic of things such as a meal or shower. It's her own fault. Sorry, I had a cough drop in my mouth and it was making me too juicy to talk. What did she do every single year to ensure she doesn't get into that horrible position that looms over everyone if we were to decide to stop caring about our daily lives? And I'm not buying anxiety disorder as a legitimate reason to suffer to this extent. Down syndrome, dementia, schizophrenia, sure, but anxiety. Cry me a fucking river. Everyone has anxiety, some more, some less. P.S. I'm sure someone would happily take that phone off her hands and allow her to shower and get a free lunch every day for a month. See what I mean when I said this guy was disgusting? And I responded to him. The person in the video is me. And yes, I do depend on the government because I'm not able to support myself. I'm 35 and have multiple mental health issues. Yes, one is an anxiety disorder that is part of CPTSD. I'm also bipolar. Yes, I'm sure many people would take my phone. It's been stolen from me before, and then I would not have access to the internet, which is all I have because I do not have family or friends in real life. At the time that this video was made, it was an Obama phone, which means that it was free. The Wi-Fi I uploaded videos was Starbucks. The reason that I am 35 years old and not able to support myself is because I was raised for the first 18 years of my life by abusive drug addicts. At 19, I quickly married a man who did not love me and only needed somebody to make him look normal. He beat me for 4 years while I worked 2 jobs to support us. After my father's suicide, he told me he was so aggressive because he was a woman and needed to be seen as a man on the outside so that everybody would leave him alone, because he had spent his entire life before marrying me being sent to gay camps to fix him and teach him what a man was supposed to be. After him, I wound up in a situation where I was held captive by a murderer for 5 weeks with a body buried just behind the house we were in. Handcuffed to a bed, beaten and raped daily by a man who had recently murdered another woman. You do not know me, so please do not tell me that my anxiety disorder is not founded. The worst part is you can say these absolutely hateful things about me, and you'll never see this reply. When they show this video again in a couple of months, you'll come back and say the same hateful words when you have a chance right now to speak to the person and find out what the truth is. Instead, you'll leave your hate and never return. Yeah, she did come back, and it got worse. First of all, point out for me exactly what I said that was hateful. I didn't say a single denigrating thing towards you. I said it's your fault you can't have the most basic of things in life as a meal or a shower. That's hateful? The truth is hateful? Second, you are 35. So you are basically giving the benefit of doubt of age and maturity to be 21. Plus ignoring that you married at 19, let's consider that a genuine teenage mistake minus 4 years. 10 years independent. You have had 10 years to do anything as basic as getting a job, enrolling yourself into a course, ensuring you are adequately treated by services you require, etc., etc. And yet, after 10 years, you still struggle to get a basic meal and shower a day. I'm sorry, but that's absolutely baffling. How could that be anyone's fault but your own? We aren't talking about having 14 days to adjust from having 2 jobs and a house and all of a sudden living on the street, but 10 years. Ensure you never get in that position again. Let's say 9, since Corona fucked every year up. Some to a larger, some to a smaller extent. Third, so you have decided that your phone and internet is more important than eating or showering for the day. Accept that. You just said that in your reply. If that's what you want, then that's what you want, but don't cry because you can't have everything. You aren't in a position to pick and choose, and so if you believe that having no shower for 3 months is worth having the Obama phone, then great. Live with that. Should I even comment on that, y'all? An Obama phone was free. Why would I be having to choose between a free service and a free service? Why did you quit your 2 jobs? You said yourself you were more than capable of supporting yourself and your ex, yet 9 years later you require government to do it. You can do it. You've already done it before. You know how to work and you've been employed previously. That's great. So why do you need the government to have a shower or a meal? What I'm saying is you aren't as handicapped as you think you are. You've showed in the past you can contribute by supporting yourself and your ex through 2 jobs, which tells me that you aren't exactly disadvantaged by your mental health conditions to the point that you're unable to work at all. Believe in yourself. I did hold 2 jobs before the murder. When I was holding those 2 jobs, I was also being beaten daily by an extremely abusive husband, and I thought that that was normal. They were also extremely easy jobs. One of them, I was being paid $8 an hour to roll silverware for a Chinese restaurant, and the other was pizza delivery. I was in my car by myself most of the time. I was working for tips. And I quit those jobs when I left my husband because they were both in the same area that he was in, and I had to get away from him. I moved in with my grandmother. I lived with her for a couple of months before meeting Kenneth and getting involved in the murder situation, which is why I am not able to work now. But yes, from 19 to 23, I was able to work. And I was married. And I was living what I thought was a normal existence. Wearing makeup to cover bruises. Constantly hearing that I was a fuck up, that I wasn't doing good enough, that our fights got bad. But I thought it was normal because that was the way I had seen my mother being treated my whole life. Believe in yourself. How do you believe in somebody that nobody has ever believed in? When people tell me to believe in myself, I don't know how. Nobody believes in me. When I published my book, the very first review was my aunt saying that it was made up. Nobody believes in me. But I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to wake up one day and magically say, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I believe in me and I can do anything. After 35 years of being told that I am worthless, garbage, fat, ugly, disgusting piece of shit that nobody's ever gonna want or love or care about. How do you just believe in yourself? Like, I'm not proud of any of my accomplishments in life because nobody's ever been proud of me for them. I won awards when I was in school, and they mean nothing to me because my family didn't care. Nothing I did ever mattered. Because it was me that did it. But I'm supposed to believe in myself. Never said your anxiety disorder is not founded. I said that everyone suffers from anxiety to some extent. Someone, such as yourself, is not anxious to post a video online which is then shared on a public page, but a lot of other people are anxious about posting recordings of themselves for the world. Anxiety affects everybody. I spoke. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I didn't attack your choices of marrying the wrong person or having a mental health disorder. What I attacked is your lack of self-accountability for the last decade to ensure that you aren't in a position where you haven't showered for over a month and rely on the government to feed you, after previously showing and proving you can work multiple jobs. If you can't accept that, then you'll always be in the position you are, thinking the government is your big mama that needs to take care of you. Start believing in yourself like you did during your marriage and stop making excuses from the past. Every day you have a chance to make amends. Use it. I was a different person when I worked. I can tell y'all right now that when I was 19 years old, I was a completely different person than I am today at 35. And both good and bad ways. Because at 19, I was working 2 jobs, but I was also regularly blacking out from the trauma of the life that I had just left with my parents and the life that I was engaging in with my husband. There are months of my memory that are gone, and I essentially was not me during those times. If you ask my ex-husband, he would tell you that I am multiple personality. I don't think that I have multiple personality, but when you have CPTSD and you're exposed to extra trauma, you have these moments where you just kind of go away and you go on autopilot. I wasn't okay when I was working, but I had jobs that were extremely easy. And also, they kind of understood. So, right under him is this person who has, I told you in the beginning, has been following me around. Watch her YouTube videos and you will see you aren't wrong. She gets lots of donations and blows through them, not to mention government funding. Plenty have helped her when she makes no effort to move forward. She bashes them online for their frustrations. She has no desire to improve her situation. People often think I'm not doing anything to help myself at all. You know, taking medication, that's not doing anything. Seeing a therapist, seeing a doctor, that's not doing anything at all. For me, some days just going someplace other than the store to get food is difficult for me. And I force myself to do it. And things like that are me improving my situation. And people can't see it because you just see somebody going to a beach. Everybody goes to the beach. People love going to the beach. What would be the big deal? The big deal is that if you have an extreme anxiety disorder and you're scared of people, and there's a lot of people at that beach, it can be scary. And you make yourself go, and you make yourself be around all those people, and you even maybe talk to somebody. And the whole time your stomach is in knots, and you want to cry, and you want to run away, and you don't because you're trying to force yourself to understand that it's okay, that it's safe, that you could be around people and be safe, that you could go out and not be locked up in a room and be safe. And then people tell you that you don't do anything to better your situation. What they mean is that you're not holding a regular job. Because they don't care that your mental issues are to the point that you can't just function. No, moving myself forward, improving my situation, it's not as easy as just getting a job like everybody thinks. You know, I'm doing my best. I really am, but I have no self-confidence. I have no abilities. I have no skills. I have no friends. I have no ability to make friends. I don't know how to be a person. And I've been trying. But at the same time, when I was in the truck, I isolated. Most of 2020 has been isolated, and that's detrimental to my health, mental issues. You know, in last year I was able to go and do shows for standing room only, and I was meeting people, and I was forcing myself to to just stay and be around people and talk and be friendly and believe that I was safe, that these people weren't going to hurt me. I made a lot of progress from when I first arrived in LA and started taking the medications and started doing that work. I made a lot of progress. And then COVID happened. And the progress just kind of stopped, and I isolated and went into my truck for a full year. And now it's hard again for me to be around people. But I'm trying, and they're not excuses. You know, the reasons for the way I feel, they're reasons, they're not excuses. These are real feelings, these are real anxieties, my life is real. It's not just, I'm not just pulling shit out of the air to add to the situation and make it up, and, you know, this has consistently been my story. And I don't understand why people like Sonia Amy Gleason have to follow me around. Like, she's on multiple things here she's commented, and she used to, this is more hateful. If she's homeless, where'd she get a phone to record? That Sonia woman used to be on my Facebook, and I took her off because she was racist. And apparently she agrees with this Martin Binkovic guy, so she's not, you know, obviously she's not there for me. She's following posts about me to spread her hate, to let other people know that I'm not worthy of help because I'm not getting better in her view. It's frustrating, you know. It's frustrating being followed around. It's frustrating being hated to this extent. It's just frustrating.